So, welcome to Jack Let of All Trades, Master of None. We're starting off today looking at my brand new chicks. Got a busy day today. I want to go out in the garden shortly, but I thought I'd show you. I'm sure you'd love to see these little guys. There's turkeys, 10 turkeys, and 10 meat chickens. And they're brand new babies. They're in this contraption for the next couple days until I can make a bigger area for them. They're going to stay in the house probably for a couple of weeks till it warms up at night, and then I'll put them out in the barn with the heat lamp, of course. But it's still too cold at night for the chicks to survive in the barn with just a heat lamp. Darn. Anyhow, it's at night. Those nights still get very cold. Anyhow, I'm happy to have them. My incubator didn't do very well this year. I'm still waiting on some eggs, but I'm starting to give up. But here we are. By the way, I got a couple of guinea fowl eggs this year. So my guineas are starting. They were new chicks last year, so they're starting to lay, and I'm happy to hear that too. So I'm hoping to have some new guinea fowls laid or hatched for the spring, for the summer. They sure do take care of the bugs, particularly the wood ticks. Okay, we're off to the garden. Okay, today's May 7th, 2021. We're going to head out to the garden shortly and plant potatoes and beans, yellow and green. This is Lucy, my great Bernese. I bought her and her sister years ago to take care of my goats and sheep. We lost her sister Annie last year to a spine injury. She jumped too big of a fence and then hurt herself, and gosh, that was a sorrowful thing. Anyhow, Lucy remains, lonely though she is, and I got rid of my goats and sheep a couple years ago, retiring, so she's kind of just taking care of the chickens. If they get out of the fence, she chases them back. She makes sure the coyotes and anything else that wants to take my animals, keeps them out of the yard. Sometimes I have to help her, but for the most part, she's pretty good. Beautiful day. It's cool, which is a perfect time to go into the garden. So off we go. I started my corn. I put the corn kernels in a bowl with water and left them in with paper towel to kind of start rooting. And that they did. Within 3-4 days, they started rooting. And then I filled up a couple of containers with soil, and I've planted them in there, and you can see all the little guys sticking their heads up already. And then once they turn green, I'm going to be putting them in the garden. This is the first time I've done that. I've always put my corn kernels directly into the garden, but this will give them a quicker start, and I'll get corn earlier. This is a very sweet variety, so I'm going to be eating this quickly, whereas the other, I'll put a couple more rows in of just the kernels directly into the soil for later corn, and that'll help me with my either drying or canning or dehydrating, whatever, or freezing, whatever I decide to do at the moment. So we're in my garden today. I've already planted a double row of onions, and in the middle between the raspberries, those stalks that you see are raspberries, in between the onions and the raspberries, I'm going to plant one row of potatoes, red potatoes, and I have purple and butter. It's called like a butternut. Further down, I'll have it away so they don't cross-pollinate. So as well, yesterday I planted a row of, well, it was a row, but I put triple amount of garlic into the row itself. These rows are about, I don't know, probably about 50 feet long. And then my garden, I still have to row it till the rest of it is about 100 feet, 75 to 80 feet maybe. Well, probably close to 100. Anyhow, this is where my blank slate is, and where I'm going to be putting all my seeds. After the potatoes, I'm going to also be putting a couple rows of beans. So I've got about 20 pounds of red potatoes in this pail. If you see, I've cut some. because they're a little bit too big. I mean, not too big. They're never too big, but instead of wasting a whole potato in one hole, I cut it up. And you have to make sure that they have the eyes, you know, the little dimples with, that's where all the roots come. And look for one here that's not cut. This is, you can see it's got various little eyes, and see it's this big, what, 2 inches? So I don't really want to cut that. I guess I could if I was really short in potatoes, but I'm just putting one row, or this amount of potatoes into one row. I bought these from the grocery store. I just wanted to show you that yes, all you have to do is just go buy healthy potatoes from the grocery store and plant them. I have my own potatoes in the root cellar that I'll be planting, that I've seeded, you know, taken from my own seed, which is the last 4 or 5 years I've had my own potatoes. So I just keep enough for seed to eat during the winter, and then make sure I have seed for the spring. So that'll be another day, because today I'm only doing these potatoes and a couple rows of beans, and I'll show you those as I go along. All right, I've started digging the holes, and I'll put my hand in right away and you'll see I put a line here. I'm just going to follow that line all the way to the end, and then we'll be dropping potatoes. But here's the hole. I hope I'm not, it's hard to do both things at the same time. So it's about what is that, 5 inches deep. Okay, so I've started covering them. You will see that shortly. There's holes that I put some potatoes in, and I'm using the hoe to cover them. So all the way down, I'm going to move that string so I can just keep hoeing them to be covered. Okay, these are the beans I'm going to put in. Green beans, tender green, 52 days. And the other one is Gold Rush wax bean, 53 days. So that's why we're kind of giving ourselves time to put them in, and give them an opportunity. The nights are still cold. It's today's May 7th, and the nights still are going down to -1. And by next weekend, this is Friday, so this is this weekend, but by next weekend, Mother's Day, that's usually the time when I put majority of my seeds in, but I'll do it throughout the week slowly. It's a lot easier to do it slowly than all at once, though Alex will be home on the weekend so he can help me, my grandson. So now I'm going to show you, I made the 2 rows, and then we're going to drop the beans. The 2 rows, it's, gosh, yeah, you can see it. It's pretty clear. One row will be the wax, the yellow, and the other one will be the green. And I plant them beside each other, not for any particular reason other than it's easier to pick them. So I go from green to yellow in my bag, and then I freeze them or can them or whatever, in a combination of the 2 flavors. So I've planted the beans, and actually that's just 1 row of the white, of the yellow, and I do a double row. I've already covered those all the way down, and I'm going to show you a trick now that I do to make a double row of beans. First of all, I cover these, and therefore I'm creating another line. And then I put beans in the line I created. So I've got a double row of beans without too much extra work involved. And then I cover it. And then I go all the way down the line doing that. This is the green beans, and they're black. I have to get up close for you to actually see them. Gosh, I'm not even sure if you're going to see them. There they are. Now I've planted them all the way down. I'm making already the double row as I go. So running out of steam, so this will be my last row. There's the beans. So I cover them up. If I have to just take from the other side. And then just put another row of beans in. I'm not really that careful on distribution, just as long as they're covered. And then I cover them. Okay, so then I'm going to go all the way down the end of this row, and then I think I'm going to stop. Well, I've done my job. Right behind me is lilac, French lilac is going to be coming out. I've been feeding the birds because it was a terrible spring. They were here early, too early, and then there was nothing to eat, and then we had snow. So for the first time in my life, I'm feeding the outside birds. I don't begrudge them. As long as I can afford to do it, I'll do it. I have a lot of sparrows that come back year after year. They're here now, and they're starting to raise their babies, but hatch their eggs, not raise their babies yet. Anyhow, the garden you saw was done. I'm beat. I'm going to go in and make myself a cup of coffee and relax, probably for the rest of the day, and have a really good sleep. So we'll talk to you soon. Bye.